Hank here with my review of Movo's CastMic. Movo did send me the CastMic for the purpose of this review. However, they don't get to see the video prior to me launching, and my opinion is my opinion. When you purchase the CastMic, it comes with 3 windscreens in black, orange, and cyan, an XLR cable, and of course, documentation. The price of the Movo CastMic is $79.95 US. When it comes to the build quality, the CastMic has a metal body, a very sturdy grill. The mic weighs roughly 11 ounces, packed inside a compact 5-inch body. However, the tightening knobs are plastic, and the yoke contains both 3/8 inch and 5/8 inch threading. Specs-wise, this is a dynamic cardioid XLR-only microphone with a frequency response of 40 Hz to 16 kHz and a sensitivity of minus 55.5 dB plus or minus 2 dB. You saw earlier in the pictures how the capsule is structured. So with the windscreen on, this is how it does against plosives. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. I am going to sit on the other side of the desk and pretend like I'm a podcaster co-host, and this microphone will stay oriented roughly in this area, and I'll move off to the side about 1.5 to 2 feet, and I'll keep talking, and you can hear what it would sound like, what it would pick up if you were in the same room with somebody podcasting. So let's pretend like now I am podcasting in the same room with somebody else, and I'm over here talking, and the person is sitting over here talking as well. It's about 1.5 to 2 feet away, and this is what it would pick up bleed-wise. Now I'm going to pretend like I was across the table on the back side of the microphone, so I'll be out of view, but you'll get the gist of it. So if I was across the table talking to a co-host, this is what it would pick up on that person's microphone. Here's what it sounds like. It's approximately 2 feet away. So now I'm going to type away on this keyboard a little bit and see what it will pick up into the microphone if I were trying to chat and podcast or live stream at the same time. Sometimes it can be difficult to tell what a microphone truly sounds like unless you anchor it next to another microphone that you're very familiar with. So I'm going to grab the Shure SM7B. I'm going to put that in line. I'll go back and forth a couple times, and you can kind of get a feel for which one you might prefer. Now I'm back, and I'm on the Shure SM7B. No processing has been turned on at all throughout the entirety of this video. The SM7B requires several dB more of gain to get to about the same level. Here's how the Shure SM7B, the tried and true SM7B, here's how it sounds. I'm going to switch back to the CastMic by Movo. Now I'm back on the Movo CastMic, and here's what it sounds like in comparison to the Shure SM7B. How do you like this sound profile in comparison to that microphone? I have my in-ear monitors in right now, so yes, I do hear a difference, but I don't get the full range of difference until I start editing the video, and then I come back and do my final thoughts. Back on the Shure SM7B, and here's what it sounds like in comparison to the CastMic. I'll be curious to hear what your thoughts are on the sound comparison. Keep in mind the Shure SM7B retails for approximately $400 and the CastMic approximately $80. So I'll switch back to the CastMic for the remainder of this review. Based on the frequency response, it is more of a neutral, flat, as I would say, microphone, and I wasn't expecting that, but if you look at the graph, it rolls off under 200 Hertz, and that helps keep it from being overly boxy in the low end. Another pro, I thought it did an excellent job with the windscreen on of mitigating plosives. Another pro is lower end audio interfaces will be able to push this microphone, as it's easier to drive than the Rode PodMic and much easier to drive than the Shure SM7B. It's almost in line with Zoom's ZDM1, which Zoom ZDM1 has a sensitivity of roughly minus 54 dB. Another pro, I thought they did a good job of including a lot of accessories, especially giving you some options with the windscreens. I do like that. I'm a sucker for colored windscreens, and I appreciate that they included that. along with an XLR cable, which I can throw into my bin of dozens and dozens of XLR cables. Another pro, I like the 3/8 inch and 5/8 inch threading being in the yoke end. I've seen that before, and I cannot remember which microphone or microphones I've seen that on before, but I appreciate that because I have a huge collection of the little adapters. I probably have 24 or more of those floating around here, and so it's nice that I don't need one for this. At just 5 inches long, you'll be able to mic cabinets or instruments in tight spaces if need be. If you think the sound profile works for that use case, you could definitely use it for that as well. And the last pro that I'm going to mention here is inside the documentation, they had this little card and it said, hey, if you're happy, here's our social media and stuff. And then if you flip it over, it says, if you're not happy, here's our social media links, and here is a phone number to call too. I don't recall seeing that on other mics that I've reviewed. I think it's kind of a classy act to include that, to say, hey, if you dislike this, contact us, because I'm sure they'll either A, try to make it right, or B, at least they're taking the feedback and there's an opportunity to submit the feedback to them directly, which I kind of like that. Cons-wise, I have to talk about the XLR port. It does not snap into position like a typical microphone does. When you reach a certain threshold of pushing in on most microphones, you get an audible click and it is secured. On this, no matter what cable I used, I'm not getting that click, and it's just kind of stuck in there. I haven't had it come out or fall out or anything like that, but I did notice that I'm not getting a secure snap into position. Every other microphone I have within arm's reach easily just snaps in and you get that audible click from it. But this one, you just don't get that, but I have a heck of a time getting it out of there. So it's not like it's going to fall out while I'm podcasting or live streaming. Another potential con, it would be beauty would be in the eye of the beholder, but you're either going to love this compact format or you're just going to absolutely dislike this format. But one of my new favorite microphones is the Rode PodMic USB. Review for this coming up very soon. And as you can see, they're both really squatty, short microphones. So I don't mind that format. However, some people might not like the style of this particular microphone. And obviously, beauty's going to be in the eye of the beholder. And then a nitpick I have is one I always bring up, just like I brought up when I reviewed this boom arm, the branding being on there. So I'm not a huge fan of the branding being right on the side of the windscreens. But if you orient the windscreen properly, fixed it so you can get away from the branding if you just orient the windscreen up and down so the logo's top and bottom. More and more companies are doing that. It's just business. I get it, but sometimes that's a little bit of a put off for me, and I'll try to cover it up or what have you. And lastly, con-wise, at $79.95, it kind of puts it in a weird spot of competition where it's not quite in the cheaper bracket of the $50, $60 microphones, but then again, it's not in the $99 category and up. So it's kind of in this awkward spot given its current price point. I think the CastMic could have difficulty separating itself from other microphones, as there are simply too many good, cheaper alternatives out there in the sub $50 category. In the comments, please let me know what you thought about the sound comparison with the Shure SM7B. This is a lot flatter and a lot less bass heavy than I thought it was going to be, but it kind of has a smooth sound to me. It's not shrill in these headphones at all. I'm not feeling like it's overly sibilant or anything like that. It's just kind of a flat, smooth sound in my opinion, but I'd love to hear your thoughts on the Movo CastMic. Thanks again to Movo for sending this microphone over. I appreciate that. Be sure to subscribe to my free monthly podcast gear newsletter. Link in the description. As always, thank you.